All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to tackle a huge financial idea, but we're going to use a really simple metaphor to understand it: water. We're going to break down exactly how you can turn one single stream of income into a massive force for your financial future, one river at a time.
You know, this sentence right here, this is basically our North Star for this whole explainer. It's not just about, earning more cash. It's about building a whole system, a financial ecosystem, where all these different streams work together to create something that's not just big, but also incredibly resilient, kind of like an ocean.
Okay, so that's the big question, right? And I get it. Looking at that goal, it can feel, well, impossible. But the journey from a tiny little spring to a huge ocean, it actually starts way smaller than you'd think. It all begins by just understanding where you are right now. For most of us, this is chapter 1 of the story. We have one main source of income, our job. That's it. This is our solitary spring. It's the source that gets the whole thing started.
This chart, and wow, this really paints the picture, doesn't it? That giant 95% slice is the classic 9 to 5. Now look, it's a super reliable source of income, for sure. But when you see it like this, you realize how much we depend on it. And that creates a kind of hidden vulnerability.
That's exactly the risk we're talking about. A single spring is absolutely essential. But what happens if it dries up? A layoff, a bad economy? That can create a serious financial drought. So to protect ourselves, we have to start creating new channels for that water to flow. This is where we really start to take control. Instead of just hoping for rain, we actually start digging. We consciously create our first new streams of income, and we do it through what's called active income. So what is active income? Well, the key phrase here is direct trade. You put in the hours, you get the money. Simple as that. Think of it like you're literally digging a canal. It takes your direct, hands-on effort to get the water moving from point A to point B. And these canals can look like a lot of different things. You could use the skills you already have from your main job to do some consulting, or maybe use your free time for a side hustle. The best thing about these, they are often the fastest way to see new money coming in. But what's the catch? Well, it's burnout. You're trading your most limited resource of all, your time. Okay, now we get to the really exciting part. So after you've spent some time digging those canals, you start to learn how to carve out entire rivers. We're talking about streams that have their own momentum, that flow without you constantly having to push them along. And this is the world of passive income. The big difference here is that upfront investment. You do the hard work, carving out the riverbed, so to speak, one time. But let's be super clear. Minimal effort does not mean zero effort. Even the mightiest river needs a little bit of maintenance now and then. The whole point is to build an asset that earns you money while you're sleeping, not when you can just completely forget about. Think about something like rental properties or royalties from a book you wrote. All of these require a ton of work or money up front. I mean, buying a house isn't easy, and writing a book can take years. But once they're set up, they start generating income with very little day-to-day active work from you. When you put them side by side like this, the difference is crystal clear. Active income is usually easier to get started, but it's always going to be limited by how many hours are in the day. Passive income, it's harder to set up, but here's the magic trick. It is highly scalable. You can sell one digital template or 1 million of them. Your ongoing effort is pretty much the same. So let's recap. You've got your mainspring, you've dug some active income canals, and you've carved out some passive income rivers. So what happens when they all start to meet and flow together? Well, that's called the confluence, and that is where the real power gets unleashed. Look, this whole journey isn't an overnight thing. It's a very deliberate process. Maybe by year 3, you've added your very first side hustle. Then by year 7, those passive rivers you built are really starting to gain some momentum. And by year 10, the compounding effect of all these streams coming together, well, that's how you create that wealthy ocean. So is there a magic number to all of this? Actually, it's kind of funny, but studies of self-made millionaires often point to one number in particular: 7. That's right, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. It's not one giant river, but a bunch of different streams, some big, some small, all flowing into the same place. So how do you even begin to navigate all of these waters? The most important thing to remember is that every single ocean on this planet started with a single drop of rain. Your whole journey really just boils down to this simple 4-step plan. First, you've got to secure your spring. That's your main job. Make sure it's solid. Next, dig your first canal by starting one active side hustle. Then, use the extra income from that to start carving a river, your first passive stream. And finally, you just nurture them all and let them flow. And that really brings us to the final and honestly the most important question of all. Just for a moment, forget about the ocean. Focus on just one thing. What is the very first smallest stream that you can start digging today? Thanks for joining this explainer.